You're here with the Mouse Vibes. We're back at Universal Studios Hollywood for a Halloween Horror Night update. We're exactly 2 months away from Universal's premiere event, and I couldn't be more excited.
Come on, I can't wait! Come on, Horror Nights!
So far, 2 houses have been officially announced in Chucky and The Last of Us. These 2 houses will be in Hollywood and in Orlando. But today we're going to talk about the brand new speculation map that dropped for Hollywood, courtesy of Horror Night Nightmares on Twitter.
Did I miss anything? You were just in time.
There are 4 noticeable changes on this version of the speculation map.
Oh, this is incredible. Oh my God.
God bless the internet.
And we have a possible headliner coming to Soundstage 15.
You'll see.
Let's get right into it and head down to the lower lot where half of the houses will be for this year's event. It's not surprising at all to see Stranger Things 4 on this list. This IP has been heavily rumored all year long, and that makes sense because Season 4 was the most streamed program of 2022, with viewers tuning in for 52 billion minutes. And let's not forget the pre-existing relationship with Halloween Horror Nights and Netflix, as Stranger Things has headlined the event in 2018 and 2019. Again, this is just all speculation and rumors. Nothing has been formally announced by Halloween Horror Nights or Universal Studios Hollywood, but I'm hearing that this rumor actually is bigger than just Hollywood. We could see this at both coasts.
Could you not mess with me right now? Baby, we're not.
Recently got on the studio Tram tour. As Stage 15 had its doors open, we were able to get a little look on what's going on inside. Let's stop right here. Honestly, it's kind of tough to see what's going on inside Soundstage 15. There's a ton of lumber and framework going on, and I like to think that this person right here is single-handedly bringing this house to life. But we actually have our first giant clue. Do you see the tall wooden wall in the middle of the soundstage? If you look closely, it's actually in the shape of a half circle, which resembles a ring. And if you ask me, and pretty much everyone else on the internet, it looks super similar to the Russian prison from Season 4. Could you imagine if they brought this scene to life, making your way through the prison and trying to survive the Demogorgon?
There is no shame in running.
Honestly, the scene is terrifying, and I really hope to see this at HHN this year. All of Season 4 was much scarier and just seemed like a bigger production. I mean, look how big this Demogorgon is right here. And it also saw all our favorite characters split up, so there's a ton of scenes to pull from for HHN. Personally, I'd love to see Vecna's lair, and I have to see Eddie shredding his guitar. Could you imagine that scene of him on top of that trailer with Metallica blasting? Or what about with Steve, Nancy, and Robin in the Upside Down? How cool would that be?
Mental? Absolutely.
So if Stranger Things 4 is coming to HHN, please,
For the love of God.
give us a room with that Kate Bush song blasting. But comment down below and let me know what scenes you would like to see come to Halloween Horror Nights. Stranger Things is super popular, and it would definitely be the headliner for the event. And it's pretty obvious this would make a ton of money.
The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes.
Anybody understand what he's talking about?
No idea.
Guys, I'm talking about merchandise. Could you imagine if Halloween Horror Nights sold this Hellfire Club t-shirt with an AP logo? You and all your friends would definitely buy it and say this.
Nice shirt, my dude. Thanks, my dude.
Let's talk about food and beverage. Last year, The Weeknd hosted a bar called the After Hours Nightmare Bar. This thing was super popular, and we actually didn't get a chance to try it, but upstairs they had 4 specialty drinks, 3 different fry options, one of which being the pizza fries from Orlando, which, if you haven't had them, are godly. And there's no reason not to believe that Stranger Things couldn't host a quick service restaurant. They've done it in years past with the Star Court and Scoops Ahoy, and I have a hunch of what it could be for this year.
Trust me on this one, my dudes.
How cool would it be to see Surfer Boy Pizza brought to Halloween Horror Nights? They could serve the traditional pies with pineapple, or if they want to get really HHN with it, they can serve pineapple pizza fries.
Surf shut, Romeo.
Dude, this is pineapple.
Try before you deny.
Comment down below, do you guys like pineapple on your pizza? And would you eat pineapple on your pizza fries?
It's good? What do you mean it's good?
Really good.
What? That's insane. That's blasphemous.
But I want to hear from you guys. Would you be excited to see Stranger Things 4 headline Halloween Horror Nights? And if Stranger Things does make its return, I'm almost certain it would come back for one last chapter, just like in the show.
Only the beginning. The beginning of the end.
This might be the end of the rumor of Five Nights at Freddy's coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year. There actually is a ton of banners being placed around the park right now in promotion for the movie coming to theaters and Peacock, but the movie doesn't release until October 27th. I'd honestly love to see this house come to Halloween Horror Nights down the road. The new trailer dropped and it's terrifying.
Where to? Why do I always get the weirdos?
Next, I want to talk about the other large IP on the lower lot, The Last of Us. This is the only house on the lower lot that's been announced so far by Halloween Horror Nights. And honestly, it's going to be the battle of the IPs on the lower lot with Stranger Things 4 and The Last of Us. Here's a current look at the construction update for The Last of Us on the lower lot. The facade is starting to take shape, and it's slowly starting to look like the quarantine zone in Pittsburgh, just like in the game. Next, I want to talk about the other massive change to this round of the speculation map, The Exorcist. The first round of the speculation map had The Exorcist on it, and then version 2 had it updated to The Exorcist Believer, which is the brand new Blumhouse movie coming out later this year. Honestly, I wasn't stoked to see The Exorcist on this round of the speculation map.
What, I thought we were in the trust tree in the nest, are we not?
This is a house that they had in 2021, and it wasn't my favorite. It did go in Soundstage 15 and had this awesome facade that looked just like the movie. There was also a ton of black walls, a lot of empty space, and it's not something I really enjoyed.
That last guy got both of us so good.
But I understand that The Exorcist still has a cult following, and the original movie is still regarded as one of the scariest movies of all time.
Amen.
And the last house on the lower lot is Holidays in Hell. Even though Halloween Horror Nights hasn't even said anything about it, you can tell it's Holidays in Hell because it looks just like Holidays in Hell.
Well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Moving on, let's go to the upper lot and talk about what's going on with the Terror Tram this year. The rumored theme for this year is Terror Tram celebrities. This has been consistent on all 3 rounds of the speculation map so far. There's been no visible work started on the Terror Tram, at least in the Bates Motel section. This is usually like the hub for all of it. This is where they drop you off and then you're on foot, which is one of my favorite things at Halloween Horror Nights. But yeah, it looks like nothing has really started so far. This is always one of the last projects they wrap up every single year, so I'd expect to see construction coming soon. Also, something interesting on our last studio tram tour, we were actually rerouted around Jupiter's Claim, the set of Nope, and our studio guide mentioned something kind of interesting.
And on your left, you'll also see a tiny little bit of Jupiter's Claim from Jordan Peele's latest film, Nope, that is being refurbished currently.
Comment down below, do you think this refurbishment is for Halloween Horror Nights this year? I honestly thought when I saw Terror Tram celebrities, we were gonna get a mix of different IPs under Universal, and most likely that's what's gonna happen. It'll probably be IP of Jordan Peele's movies like Get Out and Nope. Anything but The Purge. Keep The Purge out of my Terror Tram. Moving on, let's talk about the Wizarding World, as the Death Eaters are rumored to make a return. This doesn't surprise me at all. I felt like the Death Eaters last year was a huge plus to the Wizarding World. It actually brought light, check that, darkness into the land, because nothing actually happens in the Wizarding World. It's usually only used as a pathway to get down to the Curious George lot for 2 of the houses, so having the Death Eaters down there is a huge plus. Speaking of the Curious George parking lot, let's talk about the 2 houses down there, in the Universal Monsters house and the confirmed Chucky house. These are the 2 locations for these houses. Chucky's already been confirmed to go into this location by creative director John Murdy, and the Universal Monsters Paris is a rumor that's just been around the entire year for both coasts. Again, I would love to see the Phantom of the Opera and the Hunchback of Notre Dame brought to life. That would be so terrifying. Okay, next is probably the sickest update from this speculation map, and this update isn't for a house or a potential show. This is actually for Megan the Roaming Horde.
How did you know?
You guys don't remember, Megan actually went viral at the Megan premiere, and not for how scary or great the movie was, but because of the marketing for the movie. They had a ton of Megans popping up everywhere, at the premiere, at Good Morning America, and even at football games. This would make the most sense as the Megan Hordes. Could you imagine a whole bunch of Megans walking around and dancing all over Universal Studios Hollywood at night? Comment down below if you think that's scary.
Ooh. You like the freaky stuff, huh?
Moving on, let's talk about the last 2 houses for Halloween Horror Nights this year, and we're gonna go ahead and start with Evil Dead Rise. This was on speculation maps last year for Orlando and Hollywood, and it actually feels like it's gonna happen this year. Last year we heard rumors that this house was for sure gonna happen, and after watching the movie for the first time, I couldn't help but notice all the similarities with last year's Universal Horror Hotel that was in the same location. Let's start with the elevator scene. This looks eerily familiar to the elevator in the waiting room for the Universal Horror Hotel. Boom! And what about the bathroom scene? This has to be the most obvious example.
Mom? Mommy's with the maggots now.
Tell me this is not the exact same bathroom. The bathtub, the layout, the tile, everything is exactly the same. Here's a side-by-side to see how many similarities both of these scenes share. The green tile, the yellow paint on the wall, everything about this is the same.
No way.
Yes way, Ted!
And the last and final house is the one we probably know the least about. We're assuming that this is going to be an original house idea coming to the Parisian courtyard. And I honestly feel like we're not going to hear any announcements or updates for this particular house until Midsummer Scream at the end of July. John Murdy will come out and give an inside look at what to expect for Halloween Horror Nights this year. And if it's anything like last year, I expect to get 3 announcements. The 3 announcements I'm anticipating are going to be for Holidays in Hell, the original idea coming to the Parisian courtyard, and the Universal Monsters Paris. Comment down below who do you think is going to do the score for the Universal Monsters. In years past, it's always usually Slash from Guns N' Roses. That would be awesome to see them collaborate with him yet again. And just a reminder, Ashley and I will be at Midsummer Scream this year for all the coverage, so go ahead and subscribe to us if you're not subscribed already, because we're going to give you all the updates in real time. Alright, and that's going to wrap up our update for Halloween Horror Nights here at Universal Studios Hollywood. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It really helps us grow, and if not, thanks for stopping by.